Boom! What's shaking, everybody? Jeff Bastien here, and welcome to another episode of Studio Tuesday. So if you're anything like me, just sitting around in your not multi-million-dollar home studio, you've probably thought to yourself, I wonder what my mixes would sound like if I was sitting in a professional studio doing this. Well, with Abbey Road Studio 3, you finally can. So the plugin's based off of Waves NX technology, which is basically just fancy talk for put on some headphones and it'll sound like you're in a professional room. Now the NX plugin was just a generic room, but with Abbey Road Studio 3, they've actually gone and modeled the control room at Abbey Road, which is awesome! So today we're not really going to do a review on the plugin, we're going to do more of a tutorial. And with NX and Abbey Road, this new plugin, there seems to be a lot of confusion and misunderstanding about the purpose and how to actually use this. But we're going to clear all that up in the tutorial. So let's dive in. Alright gang, so first things first, when you open up an instance of the plugin, you're going to be presented with the Waves Head Tracker application. So that's going to allow you to set up using your camera for a tracker, or if you happen to have the Bluetooth tracker, which I just don't have yet, this is where you would set all this stuff up. Alright, so diving into the plugin interface, this is where you select your monitors. So your near fields are here. If you click onto the mids, you're going to get these speakers, which are also the surround speakers. So if you spin the room around, those are your surround speakers, and you can reset that just by hitting that. And then your far fields, which are the large speakers that are built into the wall. So as I just showed you a second ago, you can manually spin the room around if you want. And again, to reset it, you can just hit the 0° button. This is the level for the plugin. And for some reason, my CPU fans are kicking in, so if you hear any fan noise, I'm sorry. So this is the head tracking section. You can turn the head tracking off and on. If the head tracking is off, your head's always going to be in the sweet spot. But with it turned on, the software is going to follow your head movements. Settings button opens up the Waves Head Tracker application that I showed you not too long ago. The Calibrate button simply resets your head position. So if it seems a little bit off, you can just click this button and it'll reset your center spot. This section here is where you would select your tracking device. This is where you would turn the headphone EQ off and on. And over here is the drop down for the list of headphones that happen to have their frequency responses built in. So if you happen to have any of these sets of headphones, it's recommended that you pick it out of the list. If you don't happen to have any of these sets of headphones, it's recommended in the manual just to leave this setting off. Now the head modeling section. This is super important. You're going to want to measure your head because if you put these numbers in, it's going to make this simulation that much more accurate. And the way you would do that is shown right here in the manual. You would take the measurement around your head, and then you would take a second measurement from the back of one ear to the back of the other ear. And then simply just punch those numbers in here, and you can go over here and just click Set Current Setting as default. And then whenever you load the plugin, it's automatically going to default to your head measurements. Okay, so before we take this bad boy for a spin, there's a couple of things I need to go over with you about the plugin first. This also applies to the regular NX plugin if you happen to have it. Number one, this plugin goes at the very end of your master bus. This is the last thing in your chain. Number two, if you're not going to be using it, you're going to be listening through your regular monitors, turn the plugin off or your mix is going to sound bonkers. And then number three, when you're going to bounce your track out, make sure this plugin is off. Or again, your mix is just going to sound and you don't want that. Now, the other thing I want to speak to, and I think this is where a lot of the misunderstanding lies, you can't just turn this thing on, put on your cans, and expect to be magically instantly whisked away to Abbey Road. Doesn't work that way. So the trick to this and the NX plugin, put on your cans and forget the plugin is even on. Just start mixing and don't even think about it. The plugin is trying to fool your brain into thinking that you're in this physical space, that you're actually in Abbey Road Studio 3's control room. But it doesn't happen instantly. So just start mixing and give it, I don't know, for me it's about 5 to 10 minutes. And then you actually get to the point where you actually think your monitors are on, and then you start taking your headphones off and you're like, okay, no, they're off. And then you're like, holy crap, this is like bonkers convincing. But again, it takes 5 or 10 minutes, at least for me anyway. It may vary for you. So just do your thing, let the plugin do its thing, and don't think about it. And guaranteed, in a short bit of time, you'll start taking your cans off because you think your monitors are still on. Yes, it's that good. Alright, so who's ready to take this thing for a rip? I strongly recommend putting on headphones though while we go through this. Don't worry, I'll wait. You'll never beat me, Dalek, because I'm the Doctor. Exterminate! Pew, pew, pew! You guys back? Cool. Road trip! Alright, so here's how this is gonna work. I've got a session up from a song my buddy and I wrote a number of years ago. Now this isn't at all mixed and I've got the vocals muted. I'm just messing around with this session for some upcoming videos on mixing I'm gonna do. So the first thing I want to demonstrate is the head modeling, because remember before I said that was super important? I'll show you. So I'm just going to play a section back, and I'm going to mess around with the numbers here, and you'll be able to hear what's actually happening. You hear that drastically changes everything? This is why you need to get your measurements input into the plugin. It's super important. So now I'm just going to let this section play back, and we're going to audition the 3 sets of speakers here. Now I'm going to start turning my head. You can hear how that affects the sound field. We'll do the same thing with the mids. And now we'll do the nears. And you can do the same thing with the head tracking off. I'm going to turn the tracking off, and then I'm going to rotate the studio around manually. Alright, so there you have it. There's our little tutorial. See what I did there? Yeah, that was lame. Oh, I almost forgot. There's this weird little, what I think is a glitch in the plugin. If you open up a session and throw the plugin on, or if you open up a session, the plugin's already in the session, the tracker portion actually doesn't respond to your head. I don't know why. To fix that, just play the session for a second, and then the plugin basically wakes up going, oh, okay, yeah, sorry. And then it works just fine. So again, that's probably just a little glitch. The plugin just came out, so I'm assuming there'll probably be an update. And hopefully that'll fix that weird little bug. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you learned something from this. I hope it cleared up some of the confusion around this plugin and the NX plugin. Personally, I really like them. They've made mixing a lot easier for me. My mixes seem to translate a hell of a lot better when I use them. And the low end, I don't seem to have to fight with the low end anymore. Which is great, because being in a home studio, trying to mix low end is always a big problem for all of us. But don't take my word on any of this. Just head over to Wave's website, you can grab a demo, I think it works for like 14 days or something like that, and give it a run for yourself. At the end of the day, it's your studio, you need to use what works for you. And that's it, that's all we got for this week. So don't forget to like, ninja kick the bell icon so you know when I put a new video up. And as always, have an awesome week, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.